time, that we will see all the time for the future, I hope.
Well, here we go.
We're
Get
going
into
straight
game
to
one.
PS2.
Hey, PS2.
I do feel like this matchup will be really hard in Ike's favor, honestly. Just from base knowledge, I don't know much about Ike and his matchups anymore, since he doesn't get used a lot in high-level play. But I feel like this would be pretty hard in Ness's favor, honestly.
Well, I would say it's going to definitely be in Ness's favor. Ike is he's a big body.
He's so big.
You know,
the main thing that will be in his favor is just how far all of his aerials reach, the huge disjoints for this sword, and it really is doing Ruben a lot of favors here.
Yeah, wow. But another thing that, I think we're going to be seeing out of, what was his name?
Jonestly.
Jonestly. I think the one big thing we'll see out of him is both of the Earthbound kids have really good air mobility. So being able to bob and weave around these back airs.
And all of that momentum changing with the down B.
The magnet over the tilts. And,
I can't believe that didn't kill.
It's looking pretty commanding right now, but it's matchups don't mean everything.
Exactly.
It's a lot of player knowledge as well.
Ooh, really strange option going for the up smash right there, I feel like, with how slow it is, but
I think he might have thought he was turned around, so it was going to start on the other side.
Yeah, probably. That's all I can imagine. Now, I feel like... Yeah.
And that's going to be another big thing as well.
Yeah, Ike is pretty easy to edge guard when he does end up off stage, especially with Ness, such a projectile-based character.
See, another big thing that I think is going to play into this matchup is, he can't just PK Thunder off stage and hit Ike because Ike can just, that gives him another tool to use to recover.
The more he gets hit, the more likely he is to recover. So it's something that we're Ness just going to have to play patiently on stage and be aware of Ike's options and what he's already used.
Oh, yeah.
And what he has yet to use.
And I think another big thing that, is infamous for Ness is but just kind of being able to play that distance game and not really give a whole lot to, try and approach Ike right now. Approaching Ike is a bad idea as Ness.
Absolutely.
Make him play your game, play in your zone. That's going to be very important for this Ness.
Yeah, Smash as a game changes a lot when you're fighting against a character like Ness, such a projectile-based, keep away from me character. But the game also changes with characters like Ike. He's so in your face and his distance is so huge that you can barely get in if you don't have huge projectiles like Ness has.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a game where they're just trying to force the other into what they want them to do. More so than other matchups, I would say.
And that's where a lot of this neutral is going to be coming into a very good handy here. And see, I think you should have probably left it with hitting with the tail because giving him that extra little bit, he ended up converting the kill off of it.
But definitely.
But giving him that side B recovery back, that offensive recovery, is a big deal for Ike.
Yeah. I feel like a default Ness thing here would be just to wait with down smash because all of Ike's recovery options just kind of sent him right into the face of it.
Yeah, but you also have to remember that Ike's side B is going to be disjointed as well, so that's going to be connecting.
That's true.
But I would like to see that interaction just to see, if who would win that situation.
Right, of course.
Because I know it's not quite a Crom situation where he always wins.
Exactly. And right now, it's still looking pretty heavily in Jonestly's favor and Ness's favor, but we have seen that just a couple big hits can really turn the tide in this matchup, especially with Ness being such a light character like
and
that.
Showing that.
And just a quick forward tilt kill him at 112, 120?
About 120, but that's one thing I have noticed in that stock is at that high percent, Jonestly was making sure that he was very patient, sitting in shield, not wanting to, waiting for the grab, but making sure that he wasn't pressured out of for no reason.
That was a really nice catch at the PK Thunder.
Ooh,
okay.
And almost got the call out.
I was kind of hoping that he would just counter, honestly.
That would have been pretty intense. And just leave it up for the RNG gods of which side he was facing.
Yeah, I was really hoping for it. That was
That may be it.
No,
not
he's still
quite.
Well, we'll
being very heavy.
Yeah.
That's something, that I even forget sometimes just because he's like Ridley. He's not very broad. Like he's not big.
Yeah.
He's big bone.
For sure. And he's a Fire Emblem character. You expect the Fire Emblem characters to be that was a really good call.
That was
fantastic.
setup.
I expected him to just grab and go off of that, but that was really, really nice.
So Jonestly takes game one, and I wouldn't say commanding, but I would say it was pretty strong in the lead.
Favor. For sure. There were a couple moments where Ruben definitely could have taken it, I feel like, but once he got the lead, Jonestly really kind of ran with it and kind of kept pace with Ruben.
One small bit here, a PK fire, being able to push his way out. But just kind of,
Did you see what stage they went to?
I honestly did not. I was.
And they're keeping the same characters while at. Interesting.
See,
I don't feel like this would be in either one's favor. I'm not gonna lie. Probably in Ike's overall with the platforms to catch him on.
Yeah, I'd say Ike can probably command the platforms a little bit better than Ness is going to be able to kind of cover with projectiles.
Absolutely.
That would be the only
Interesting
thing.
interaction there with the sword.
Yeah,
It's
that would be the
picking
biggest
fire.
thing with mostly with projectile characters. I don't know if I would necessarily call Ness a projectile character,
Right.
but Lila's good for being able to throw one projectile and cover a lot of space.
Exactly.
Because
Like
you don't
one-
have that high middle platform to kind
Exactly.
of run away to.
Yeah,
But
one big
Ruben
wow.
taking a very quick stop.
One thing that I've noticed in my time playing Smash is that if a heavy, hard-hitting character takes you to Lilat, then you want to stay away from them. Because Lilat overall is pretty small and there's not a whole lot of room to run to. And that shield is looking very small right now.
Getting
If
very
I were Jonestly right now, I might be thinking this.
Ooh, and he went for it, but that's that
was so
platform being a
strange. That
little bit
platform really
lower.
caught that PK Thunder. And I feel like that might have been a purposeful pick from Ruben so that just gets caught and he can't really circle around with PK Thunder so much.
And that's one big thing about having, a little bit of a higher skill cap here at this tournament for our 100-man tournament.
Absolutely.
And just being able to see, all these small kind of picks and know that, well, he didn't pick Lilac just because he thought, well, it's kind of cool. He picked it because there's a reason.
Yeah, it's not only Ike likes Lilat, it's Ike likes Lilat. It's got a platform I can cover him on. It hurts his projectiles.
Exactly. And the
I can
call
catch
out
him
with
with
the up
smash. And Ruben's laughing a little bit at that. He liked that a lot.
And it's one of those things
But
of
this one is looking very commanding Ruben's lead.
very
I would be very surprised and very impressed if Jonestly managed to pull this back. Took
and
the-
SD, maybe a little bit of a mindset change, make sure.
Yeah, I
doesn't
think
want-
he was just saying, okay, I've got the lead, I can just go for dumb stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter at this point, but that might come back to bite him if Jonestly kind of changes up his gameplay a little bit. But we'll have to see. I could not imagine what Jonestly could really pull off to change it that hard, though.
Yeah, and you can see that, Johnson's really going for a lot of these, PK Thunder's just kind of pressuring the shield, pressuring Ike on these platforms because he knows he's, man, and that could have been so devastating.
Yeah.
That could have evened the game up.
Absolutely. Now, things are looking pretty even. Jonestly is definitely changing up his playstyle. He's playing a lot more of the zoning game, walling him out a little bit. But that's
With
gonna
the stock
take it-
lead, that's
yeah.
definitely more commanding
Against
than the other
Ike,
side.
a very hard set to come back from.
Very, very much so.
When Ike takes a lead, it's so hard to bring it back.
And that's any heavy. Just every
Really,
single
yeah.
bit of percent, it's not a hit from Sheik that does 1 or 2%. It's a hit that does 25%. And then you just
Yeah.
got to really think about what's coming next.
Yeah.
And speaking of coming next, where does Ness go?
Yeah,
Where does Ness go?
With this,
to
I
kinda
would think
create-
Ness goes somewhere larger like Kalos.
Kalos, and that's
Which they
gonna
did.
make him live a little bit longer. But you also have to think his throws aren't going to be, that he's been
Right.
able to work around some of these throws. Hasn't really, put too much
Right.
faith in the back throw.
I do
but
think
back
one
throw is
nice
going to
thing
be
about
nerfed
Kalos.
kind of.
I do think one nice thing for Ness on Kalos is the straight walls. So now Ike doesn't have anywhere under the stage to run to for his up B. He has to come straight up into a possible down smash into Thunder. He knows exactly where he's going to be coming from. There's not really any way Ike can change up his recovery here other than side being here instead of there and things like that. Because if he uses up B, he will be right where Ness wants him.
And just barely missing that drag down on that up tilt that go around. But, trying to take a little bit, I don't think.
Oh, wow.
And
That was almost.
I was thinking
a
he was going to
little
maybe
push.
try and go for another aerial there,
I
but
thought
he
he
wanted to
was.
kind of keep his feet on the ground.
Yeah, he definitely wanted to get a big punish there. Very nice following on the. One thing I noticed with a lot of Ness is that some of them struggle hitting specifically with and spacing the tail of their PK Thunder, but Jonestly's doing a great job hitting exactly where he wants to, exactly where he needs to keep Ike taking damage, but also keeping him away from him at the same time, and making sure
And
he keeps
the
that constant
last
hitbox out.
little bit of that yo-yo, man, I remember when that move was a joke.
Me too.
Everybody, I remember it used to be, oh wow, the yo-yo killed, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow,
The
the
yo-yo
yo-yo kills. Like,
Yeah.
it's what Ness does now. It's an actual weapon.
Yeah, it's actually something that Ness has such a huge control of the stage with just his yo-yo because it has that constant hitbox out. And I remember with the last nerf, there were rumors that they were going to take away that lasting hitbox.
Yeah.
Like people thought that was such a threat that they were like, maybe it'll just be gone.
Right.
But it's such a core component of Ness's character that you can't take it away.
And it's one of those things of Ness is not overpowered. He's
Exactly.
not
He's
one of the
definitely
best
not.
characters in the game. He's a very fair character who has his certain tool set that he has. The yo-yo on ledge is one of them.
Absolutely. And I can see the argument for saying it's kind of cheesy, but some characters just have
There's a lot of characters with a little bit of cheese, man.
absolutely. One of the only honest characters I'd say is what? Pit, maybe.
Marth.
Mars is kind of honest. Lucina.
Marth's about as honest as it gets. Hey, back here cleaning up that stuff pretty
Absolutely.
early, and
So-
he's taking the lead.
He has taken the lead. Now, one strong hit from Ike right now can even it out really easily, though.
But that's
Like,
those
just a dash attack.
those Kalos borders right now,
Absolutely.
really playing in his favor. And I like how he's taking and sitting on these side platforms, really letting, of course, Ike's just kind of standing in the middle of the stage, thinking,
Absolutely, both
what
of
am
them
I
are
supposed to
sitting
do?
there waiting for the other to come to them.
Exactly.
But if Ike's waiting, Ness has
There's
all
a
his
long
projectiles.
string.
He can-
Uh-oh, let's see.
All
Okay.
right. So right now it's definitely looking in Jonestly's favor, but 2 good hits from Ike can really even out the percentage.
And it's an even game now. 1 good nair, 1 good up air, and this could be the string.
Right, things aren't.
Oh,
Ugh.
and goes a little bit high.
Things aren't looking too good for Jonestly right now. Are we in a best of 3 situation?
I believe this is still best of 3.
Still
We've
best of
not hit
threes
top
right now?
8 yet.
All right.
Ooh, and
That was
taking
a really
it out.
nice air dodge.
And let's see what he's able to do here.
This might be the
Oh,
make or
and that was
break it.
dangerous.
Ooh, okay, this might be.
And going in with PK Fire. What's going on?
The
Didn't
back
get
air,
the
not
jump
gonna
out.
catch it. Not gonna catch it. Both kids are playing very safe, playing the hard neutral.
And
Good
130.
fair from
This might.
Jonestly. PK Thunder. And that'll
And
be
the
it.
up air is going to take it.
All right. That was a
That was